So I haven't had a video on this channel in a really long time, but I figured it's quarantine and we should do something fun. So this is a 3D printer, and this is a keycap. These are the things on your keyboard that you press. This happens to be the escape key, but this is what we're going to be making today. Well, we're going to use this as a master keycap, and we're going to make our own keycaps. What's printing here is, well, another keycap that we're going to decorate. So, I recently found out about artisan keycaps, just, a few weeks ago, when I found out about the whole keyboard community. I mean, I knew a little bit about it before, but I didn't know it was this deep. So, let's go outside. Okay guys, so yesterday I recorded that intro that you just saw, and I came here to record the mold pouring, and I realized that the silicone had hardened by itself, which is unheard of, because the silicone comes in two parts, hardener and the actual silicone itself. When you mix them, then it hardens. But for some reason, it hardened without any mixing, which is really weird. I was able to get a hold of more silicone, but it's not going to be here for a few days. So, we have tried something different. I have 3D printed 2 of these keycaps. We are going to do something a little different. Instead of making a mold, we have this milliput. Milliput is a epoxy putty. So when you mix them, it will make almost like a thinking putty. And then if you wrap it around this from all directions, it will harden, and then it will create like a shell that we can color or paint, and then use these silicone tips to make sure that it's fully that it's fully covered, and that should hopefully make it whatever color we want. But if in case that this doesn't work, we also have epoxy, and we are going to color the epoxy, and then we're going to dip this in epoxy to give it a coating that should be a nice color. I am wearing gloves because this stuff is very sticky. I don't know if it damages your skin, so to be safe, we're going to go ahead and use gloves. We want to have a shirt that you don't want anymore, or that is stained or something, and the same thing with shorts, because pigment will get on your clothes and it will ruin your clothes. So unless you're wearing an apron, make sure to wear things you don't care about. So let's get started. We are going to mix the hardener with a little bit of silicone at a 1-to-1 ratio. So here we are. So now that we have both things, we're going to mix it together, and it should harden in about it should cure in about 45 minutes, and that would be the end of our working time. Then in 6 hours, I think it will fully harden to be rock solid, and that will be the end of it. So I'm going to mix it here, just a little bit. So it is now starting to get much more malleable. It's not fully mixed yet, but it's starting to get much easier to handle. Right now, I'm sitting down. I have poured 1 ounce of the resin itself. So we're going to cap that, and then we're going to go on to put the hardener. But once we add the hardener, that's when the working time starts. So here's our keycap that we are going to dip, and here's our little thingy. We have poured this. Now we are going to pour the hardener and our what do you call it? Pigment. So here, I'm gonna just grab a little bit of pigment. Okay, just need a little bit. Okay, there you go. That should be good. Now that we have our pigment, we are going to mix this up before we add our second part. Okay, so now it's fully mixed with the color. We are going to add our second piece, our hardener here. So here we have opened it. Now as soon as we add this to the mix, it will start to harden. We have 2 minutes of mixing. So let's pour that 1-to-1 ratio there. Okay, we are good to go. Now since we're making like a very opaque green, we're gonna add our white here. These gloves. So slidey. Okay. And here we go with a little bit of that white. Just gonna put a little bit in there. We want to make it opaque, so we're gonna put a little more than the green of that. Now, we're gonna finish up the mixing. Now remember, as soon as we get back to school, if your school has a 3D printer, which, you know, ours does, anyone from my friends that are watching this, you can print this STL file on that printer and mix this up at home. Actually, the school might even have this stuff, so with the approval of the Academy shop teacher, this might work. Okay, so here we are, most of the way through the day. I have sanded down the keycap. So after adding the epoxy putty, it's sanded down with the texture on top that I added. This is still drying. It won't be ready for a while. Yeah, it's gonna take at least 24 hours to dry. That's a weird dog. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and paint this now. This one is ready for paint. It fits on the keyboard. I have checked already. So we're gonna go ahead and paint this on the table. I'll be back in a second. Okay guys, so here we are. We're gonna go ahead and paint everything. We have Liquitex Basics. We have this dark blue, which is ultramarine. We have bright aqua green. We have a metallic acrylic paint from Deco Art, and then we have the same basics in white. This is because I think that I want to use the metallic for the top, the little grates, and then I want the sides to be teal. I'm going for an interesting color scheme. I just want to have a balance, so I have the blues and the greens, and the white is just to change the color a little bit. So, you know, let's get into it. I'm going to be painting. I just have a paintbrush here and some water. So, let's get going. And then this black thing is just so you can see it better, and this is my thing so I can put paints on it. So, okay.